Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some more Star Wars Battlefront 2 content. In this video I wanted to talk about hero skins and the top 10 hero skins that I personally want to see in the game. I'm sure the community might agree with me on a lot of these, but ultimately this is the top 10 skins that I would love to see in the game, and something that I think could make DICE a little bit of money, and that would just be awesome to see in the game. And I will mostly be focusing on a lot of heroes slash villains that do not currently have any skins, because I think that's more important than having 8 different skins on one character. Also, some of these skins might be really tricky to pull off, and I focus more on just how awesome they are as compared to how hard they are to make. But I just wanted to give you my top 10 list of this, as a lot of you have suggested me to start doing more things like this, where I talk about the skins I want, the planets I want, the weapons I want. So I thought we'd start off with skins, and you guys can let me know what you want me to discuss next. So let's dive straight into it, and the first one I wanted to talk about was Darth Vader. He currently has no skins as well. His suit is pretty much the only way we see him in the movies or series, but a battle damaged Darth Vader would be something that a lot of people have suggested to add to the game. And as far as I know, the only really canon version of that we've seen is in Rebels, when he fights Ahsoka and his mask gets damaged. I think that alone would be enough, it would be cool enough, but you can of course take that to another step and get something like this, like these fan-made battle damaged Vaders. I mean, look at Grievous for instance. His shattered skin was something that we had not seen in canon material before, but they still added it to the game. So I don't see why they couldn't do a Vader that's more battle damaged than we see in Rebels. At least that's my thoughts, and I think especially with some of the VFX we saw on the shattered skin for Grievous, like some flares flying off the armor and so on, I think they could do some really cool stuff with it, and maybe add some kind of damaged breathing as well when you use the skin, kind of like he has now when he is very low on health. So I definitely think that Vader could do with a really badass battle damage skin. Before we continue with the skins, I wanted to thank Audible for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel ultimately. Audible gives you access to an unmatched selection of audiobooks, including everything from the newest Star Wars stories to science. You can sign up for a free 30-day trial and get 1 audiobook included, but they're also running a really good deal for Amazon Prime members right now. You can get the first 3 months of Audible for only $4.95 per month, as compared to the normal $14.95. If you visit audible.com/battlefront or text Battlefront to 500 to get started right away. So you get 3 months for the price of 1, but this offer is only valid until July 31st, so don't miss out. I personally listened to the Inferno Squad audiobook through Audible, which ties really nicely into the Battlefront 2 campaign, but you can also find all of the newer Star Wars stories such as Alphabet Squadron or Dooku Jedi Lost on Audible as well. You get 1 free credit for an audiobook every month with Audible, as well as access to 2 Audible originals, which again will only cost you $4.95 per month for the first 3 months if you are an Amazon Prime member. So it's perfect to listen to during your daily commute or when you're just chilling during your vacation. So if you want to take part of this Amazon Prime deal or get a 30-day trial at the same time as you are supporting me and the channel, just go to audible.com/battlefront or text Battlefront to 500 to get started. But now back to the skins again. The next character I wanted to talk about is, well, my favorite character in the Star Wars universe, Palpatine. I think he actually has quite a lot of options here, but I'm gonna go for what I would say is the most badass skin that we will most likely not get in the game, which is the dual lightsabers and red robes from the Clone Wars series when he fights Maul and Savage on Mandalore. I think this is probably one of my favorite lightsaber duels in any Star Wars content, and I just love the way he just dominates them here and shows that he is truly the master of the Sith. And obviously, adding this skin to the game would take a complete rework of him and add lightsabers, so I don't think that's very likely. There are some other more realistic skins, such as these 2 red robe skins and 1 black robe skin, one of which he actually does wear post electrocution, if you know what I mean. So they wouldn't have to change his face or anything. All they could do is just add that red robe that he wears in the Senate at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Again, my top pick would be the dual lightsaber with red robes, but if that's not possible, I'd take any of the other ones, because I do think it's a shame that Palpatine has no other skins than his base skin when there are at least 3 or 4 valid options from the prequel era. Next up, we have a pretty simple skin for Bossk, actually, his prison skin. That's really the only other skin we've seen Bossk with, as far as I know, and we see him this way in Clone Wars Season 4. And the reason why I want that is simply because Bossk has no other skins. He's a very popular hero that you see a lot in the game, but he has no variety whatsoever. So even though this is technically just like coloring his clothes orange, maybe a little bit more than that, I still think it would be worth it just for the variety, and it probably would just be like a rare or epic skin, but I still would love to see that, just because it doesn't seem like it would be too much work to create that, and he is a very popular hero that you see a lot, so why not add some variety to him. Next up, we have Phasma, and I wanted to go for a bit of a unique skin here, because this is actually her in disguise outfit that she wears in the Phasma novel. So it does not at all look like her base outfit, so obviously if you don't know who this is, you might be really confused, but I think that's kind of the fun of it, making a very unique skin that people might not initially understand is Phasma, although you'll still hear the voice. For instance, Leia has the Boushh skin, and that looks nothing like Leia if you haven't seen the movies and know exactly that that is Leia hiding in Boushh outfit. So that's why I think this disguise could actually work as a pretty cool skin for Phasma that would add something unique to the game. Sure, a battle damaged Phasma could also be another option with the helmet a bit damaged, but if I have to pick one, I'd rather take a more unique and cool skin that we've only seen in the novels so far. And they've already shown that they're willing to take stuff from the novels, such as Leia's base skin, so why couldn't they do that here as well? Next up, we have Maul, and Maul has a lot of options, or I guess most importantly, it's the robot legs we all want. But there are different types of robot legs he could have. It could be the spider-ish legs that he gets after the Night Sisters cleanses him, but it could also be the more humanoid-like legs he has later in the series. Or like his cameo in Solo: A Star Wars Story, similar legs but different outfit and look. I think all of these could work, but if we're talking about ease of making them, I think if you go for the more humanoid legs, he doesn't really need as much reanimating, I think, because he is very fluid with those humanoid legs in the Clone Wars series, so he could definitely be as agile as he is in the game now. Maybe just add some kind of robotic sounds and obviously make them look like robot legs, and I think that could work out pretty well. I'm not sure which one of these versions I would prefer the most myself. I'd probably be happy with any of them, but I think it would be neat to see the Solo cameo make it into the game as a full-blown skin. Next up, we have Luke, which is the first hero that I'm going to talk about that already has some other skins, which is the Jedi skin and Hoth skin. So it's only two, and Luke has a lot of options: Bespin outfit, Endor outfit, pilot outfit, but I'm actually going to go for the yellow ceremony jacket, as that's something that I don't think we've seen in any game so far, at least not in Battlefront 2 or 1. So I think the yellow ceremony jacket would be a quite unique skin to have on him that would be very nice to see, and a kind of the high fidelity that Battlefront 2's engine has. And sure, Bespin, Endor and the pilot skin, I'd love to get that as well, but if I'm just picking one here, I think the yellow ceremony skin would be something that would be neat just because we haven't seen it before, and that's why I would pick that. And again, I prefer to pick heroes that don't have any skins, but Luke, considering how many outfit options he has, does need more skins, because he only has 2 and he probably has upwards to 10 that he could have. Next up, we have Chewbacca. He has a couple of skins now, but I mean, one is with a bandage and one is the Vander skin with some goggles, so it's not the coolest thing. But what about a C-3PO talking on his back? I think that would be, well, at least a legendary skin, if not a level above that. If they added C-3PO to his back, basically having a conversation with him and maybe even other characters around him, that would really be taking skins to the next level. I'm not sure if this is something they've ever considered, but I think that could probably be the most unique skin that they could add to the game, which is why I would love to see it. And I know that's been suggested for, well, since the release of the game, or actually from the last game probably, but I wanted to bring it up again nevertheless, as I think it has one of the coolest ideas of basically introducing a new character through a skin. Next up, we have Kylo Ren, and I would actually go for a Rise of Skywalker skin here. He already has the masked base skin, the unmasked skin with a cape, and the scarred unmasked skin without a cape. So what I would love to see here is basically his Rise of Skywalker outfit with the patched together helmet and with the red lines that we see, but with no cape. because that's something people have modded already with basically no cape and the helmet on. And if you then add the actual red striped helmet, I think that could look really badass. His actual outfit might actually be completely new in Rise of Skywalker. In that case, I want that, you know. The base thing I really wanted here was the helmet. It feels like it probably wouldn't be too much effort to take the helmet and add those lines, but it still looked really cool in the trailer. So I would love to get the Kylo repurposed helmet with the red lines as a skin once Rise of Skywalker is out. And next up we have Leia, one of the heroes that actually do have quite a lot of skins, with the Adventure skin, Hoth skin, Endor, Princess and Bausch. But I would love to see this Leia skin from the Rebels in the game, as I really like when they take stuff from other media that is not HD and make it into the game. For instance, her base skin, the Adventure skin, is based off a comic, so it was cool to see that in the game, and I don't see why they couldn't take something from Rebels and add that skin as well. It doesn't seem like the most complicated skin to add either, but I thought it was a nice version of her outfit in the Rebel series, and I think it could fit very nicely as a skin in the game. I know there's plenty of other options for Leia, just as with Luke, but I don't know. Out of all the ones I looked through, I think this one would be the most unique, again because it's something we haven't seen in HD, and taking stuff from comics or series and putting it into a game or a movie is something that I really thoroughly enjoy, so that's why I decided to pick for this skin. And lastly, as the 10th skin, I'm actually not gonna give you a specific skin, but I'm gonna say completely new skin, because something that most of these hero skin lists have are, well, things that we've seen in canon material before, saying I want this in the game. But my favorite skin so far in the game is the General Grievous Shattered skin, and that is not a previously canon look for Grievous. So they made a completely unique skin for the game that is only in the game, and that turned out to be my favorite, both because it looks so badass and also because of the VFX of the actual like smoldering stuff and smoke flying off him. And that's why I think I would love to see them make a completely new skin. It doesn't have to be something we've seen in canon material or even Legends. They can just make something up, because they've already proven that they can do some really badass stuff when they're not limited by stuff that we've seen previously, which is why I would absolutely love to see them do more like the Grievous Shattered skin. Come up with their own ideas for skins that obviously Lucasfilm would have to approve, but yeah, that's why I'm gonna put that on the 10th spot of my list. And before I wrap up the actual video, I wanted to bring a quick mention to old skins, because I've not brought those up on the list, and what I mean with that is old Obi-Wan, old Luke, old Leia, old Han. And the reason to why I didn't bring those up is because I'm actually torn if I want them or not. I don't know how good it would look if they ran around like they were 20 or 30 years old, but the skin makes them look like they're way older than that. Sure, they could maybe reanimate them so you're slower, but also, is that something we want either? So that's why I'm torn on old skins. I'm not opposed to them directly. It's just not on my like top 10 list of I'd really want some old skins, as I'm not sure how well that would work in the game. It might work perfectly, and I know a lot of you might want that, but for me personally, probably not. So that's why I didn't bring up any of the old skins. But that's all the skins I wanted to discuss in my top 10 skin list. I would love to hear your thoughts on this list, and if you agree or disagree with it, and if there's anything you don't want or anything that you do want that I haven't brought up. And also let me know what kind of other videos like this you want to see in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.